They sing loud, sing clear. Was he able to do it, Rabbi?
Yes.
Hey.
Yes. We have.
Yay.
I read that.
Just been around long enough to see it.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Alan, good to see you. Hi.
He wanted to do those too. Wait till you shut it at his bar mitzvah, and we had him and you know it was a I mean, every thing was in the same one. She said. Everybody was singing and swaying.
Okay, well, we're gonna start momentarily. Yes, because we lowered the. I didn't realize it was one or the other side.
The brew that is true. What was that?
And I said, but my
Hey there.
I'm Rabbi Janet.
Yeah, usually.
Nice to meet you.
Well, when it comes to
Remind me. Oh, yeah. Cassandra. Chris. Cassandra and Chris, are you both C? Okay. That can help us. Cassandra. I try to get everybody, but it takes me a few times.
Yeah, me too.
just regular, you don't have to have whatever your family.
See, I do my hand exercise, but I don't want to do this one because I don't want to do.
But I need you to start whatever you are, and I will follow you. Okay, and Robin,
Yes.
I'm just gonna pepper the Hanukkah songs in there.
Pepper on. I never knew that was a verb, but fine.
Oh.
Of course it is, of course it is.
I mean, I'll wake up and take so bad. Only
So I'm gonna be following given. Okay, so you can start along with me, but I will join in. Eggs and pain. Whatever the two is. That too.
No, that's it.
I want to see you tell me. And the one who never did.
Yeah, but she can come, I guess she made, Christmas dinner, and I guess. Oh, she's pretty good.
Rabbi, do you want me to close the back door?
Say what?
You want me to close the door?
You mean the door to the temple?
Yeah. Or we leave it wide open?
Oh.
Just tell me.
Well, since the president is here, we can ask him. Should we leave the door open or?
Well, we have one more person coming in.
Oh, good, it's Barbara.
I think we can close it, it's just not locked, right?
No, it's not locked.
Right.
Yeah,
Can I close it?
yeah.
The
Okay.
people who know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elijah, wrong holiday. Vodka's not matzah.
Hi, Barbara.
Hi, Barbara.
I'll be on the library app.
Pardon?
The book came on my library.
Oh,
Have you started? No, I'm reading 3 other books at the same time. What is it?
Not just for us, for the
the
whole city.
last
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
I took it out of the library.
Well, no, I'm like, I don't. The library.
For God's sake.
There's a library.
I just buy it.
I don't buy anything.
Sorry. there's so many things here. So many things.
Ira, is the heat on?
You have them already.
I actually didn't print them out tonight because
I got a coat on.
I know, let me check.
I started the book. Still too close to the beginning to really.
All right.
Nothing I would expect. I don't know where it's going to go yet.
No, this is something else. I'm sure you're starting with Shabbat. Someone's doing it, she's gonna.
Rob,
5 hours,
Robin?
2 hours.
Yes, ma'am.
what are we starting with today?
And then.
Just 1 second.
Just
I think the only, this is the only one
Do
that
you want to give me some of the extra on
Here, I'll do that.
Sure.
Are you sure?
Oh,
It's the only one, I'm just gonna wing it.
No, she's got extra.
Yes,
You have extras of
I do. They're right here. Please, Bavakasha.
Thank you, Margaret.
All right.
Oh, look at her, she's the table manager.
Oh, Margaret is totally on it.
helpful. I'm helpful
Good for
hand.
her.
She's the
She's
alpha.
be the
The bench on the bench.
gatekeeper,
The bench on the bench, the alpha on the shelf.
Shannon,
Such a naughty opportunity.
do you feel like you would like to bless the candle? Okay. After the opening song.
I didn't realize it went to the show.
If you want it in the book, it's 120.
Is there more than the regular prayer?
Yes, there's you can say it in English if you like.
You want to take your type?
But you don't have to.
Okay, give me yours.
There is, if you wish, an introductory paragraph, one or the other, or not. That's on 121, the blessing is on 120.
Okay, we are ready. Rob, what song should we start with? Should we start with a Hanukkah song?
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Why not?
All right. Your call, Rabbi. Which one?
All righty. No, we're not. Wait a minute. Oh, good, we have a Hanukkah, very good. You know what? We could start with the Hanukkah blessings for both names.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna start with the Hanukkah blessings, which are number one, are on our Hanukkah sheet here. It says Hanukkah song sheet, and we will start with the blessings. Okay, so who would like to read in English, just from your seat? Blessed are you, anybody? Okay, thanks, Margaret.
Okay, so blessings.
Do you want to do third?
Just the English, for number one.
Oh, just for the English for number 1, okay. Blessed are you, our God, ruler of the universe, who has made us holy with your commandments and commanded us to ignite the Hanukkah lights.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu le'adimem shel Hanukkah. Beautiful. Bunny, would you like to read the second blessing in English?
Sure. Blessed are you, our God, ruler of the universe, who did miracles for our ancestors in those days at this time.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asa nisim la'avoteinu, bayamim hahem, b'zman hazeh. And the third blessing is generally only said on the first night of Hanukkah, but however, this is our first night that we're all together on Hanukkah.
That's right. David wants to.
Oh, okay, David, go ahead.
Blessed are you, our God, ruler of the universe, who has granted us life and sustained us and brought us to this season.
Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Okay, should we continue with Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah?
Sure.
Everybody knows that one. It's
This would be.
It's first in English
F
and
minor,
then
F
in
minor.
Yiddish.
Alright, is that a good key?
Okay.
Alright.
Hanukkah, oh Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance a hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Tables to play with and lots to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning bright. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Hanukkah, oi Hanukkah, ayon tifashener, alustiker afreiliche nito no versäuner, alle Nachten Freitag stillen mir, zu den Käselatke des Donnerschirr, Kinder, sind Kinder, oi Hanukkah, liebte Lekon, singt Al-Hanissim und läuft auf die Nissim und Kum, sicher kann tanzen ist hoch. Singt Al-Hanissim und läuft auf die Nissim und Kum, sicher tanzen ist hoch. All right.
Special verse that goes with this.
There is a secret verse. Would you like to hear it? It's the secret of the Maccabees. Okay, are you ready for this?
What language is it?
English.
They were ahead of their time.
She mixed them and fixed them. She poured them into a bowl. You may not guess, but it was the latkes that gave the great Maccabees their soul. You may not guess, but it was the latkes that gave the great Maccabees their soul. And now you know the rest of the story. Okay, and I'd like to invite Shannon up to the bima to light the Shabbos candles. It's page 120 and 121. Hey Mark, welcome, Shabbat Shalom, Hanukkah Sameach. Hey,
Hey, Margaret.
hey Margaret, welcome. Okay, Shannon's gonna light the candles. Amen. Thank you, Shannon, thank you.
And these Shabbat candles give light to all holy people. So may we, by our lives, give light to all holy people in us. As their brightness reminds us from generation to generation, so may in our day and among those
Amen. Thank you, Shannon. Okay, we continue on page 138 with Lecha Dodi.
Just do this in A minor.
I couldn't think it should sit here.
She likes
Somebody has to get to the,
Oh,
Are you good with that one, Vicky?
Oh yeah, she's good with that.
no, I'm not.
Oh, you're not good with that, but you know the song.
Is this it? We can do it in whatever.
Yeah, is that okay? Okay. Okay, so we do the first and the last verses. Lechadoti likrakala, lai la la lai la 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 lai, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, lai la la lai la la lai, shamor ezachor b'dibur echad, ishmianu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, Lehem u'tiferet ve'liteilah, lechatoti likrakala, lai la la lai la 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 lai, penei Shabbat nekabela, lai la la lai la la lai. Boi ve'shalom ma'ateret bala, gam besimcha ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה לחדותי לקרקלה לילה 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 שבת מקבלה לילה לילה לילה. Continue with Shalom Aleichem on page 142. However, you have the printouts that have the extra 2 verses. Almost everybody probably has them by now. And they might be in your book, they might be in the pew.
What, yes.
Mine is not in the book.
Does everybody have it?
I have an extra one here.
Extras here, up here too.
Yes. You got, okay.
Everybody have it?
Well, okay, that's the number, but he's not yet. That part comes next. First you gotta do.
The new one?
This is his music, so you really know.
Yeah.
If you look around, they might be in the book pocket.
Where's the regular song?
Stuff in the wording.
Yeah, the people sit in different places.
Just for a moment, please, and I'll tell you.
Oh, okay.
C minor.
Thank you. Let's see.
But I'll do it whatever key you would like. So just begin and.
What do you usually do? Shah, that's right.
Is that all right?
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Amlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Amlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. our president here, are you going to do the announcements?
I guess so.
Okay then, do you have that?
Wing it.
Because I don't have anything up here.
Good Shabbat, everyone.
Good
Shabbat.
Shabbat.
I'm Kutsanea. Thank you for joining us at Temple Beth Emmet for Friday night services conducted by Rabbi Janet Bieber and our music director Robin Kreisberg with Vicky on the guitar and Bambi there occasionally adding percussion. And the Yonah Shabbat is a collective effort, but it's led up by Stacy Barlow and the Barlow family. Thank you guys. And what's going on at Temple Beth Emmet this winter's evening? It's vacation season, winter vacation, everybody's out of town, but we're doing things. This Saturday, we will be going up to meet our friends up the hill at Hanukkah in the foothills. It's at the
Elks
at the
Lodge.
Elks Lodge on Commonwealth. The address is on our website, on the flyer that's posted on the bulletin board. And the flyer they gave me said 5 o'clock, so that's what I put out there, but now it says 4:30. The first one they gave me said 5.
Right,
So
it is 4:30 though.
get there at 4:30.
Yeah, and besides, it fills up real fast and we get about 300 people.
Wow. And Rabbi Janet is the rabbi for it?
Yes.
Wow. Say that again?
Rabbi Janet will be officiating. And I've been to a few of them and they really are an amazing experience. They've got a great community up there. And we would love to have a few of them come down here, so.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Let's get up there and introduce ourselves, maybe every once in a while they can come down here. Yes?
Saturday tomorrow or Saturday?
Saturday
Saturday
tomorrow.
tomorrow. And then on Monday, the 30th, we will be at Burbank Town Center to light their Hanukkah at 6 o'clock, and we're gonna bring the song sheets, and everybody's gonna show up and we're gonna sing, have a good time, and then go home. And do whatever we wanna do on the evening with our family.
And I will be there as well.
Of course. Who's gonna say the bracha?
Okay, but also Robin is gonna bring her guitar and possibly Vicky.
And we always get an amazingly good little crowd there at Burbank Town Center, which is always empty.
Oh, by the way, it's in front of Forever 21.
It
okay.
used to be in front of Burlington, they moved it in front of Forever 21.
Right, so you just have to look, where is Forever 21? It's on the second floor, and that's where they're setting it up.
Okay, book club, we are reading Fleischman is in Trouble
Oh,
by Toffee Broadser Anchor, and I probably butchered the name. And it's available on Amazon. We are meeting on January, you remember the date?
I don't remember, it's the last Wednesday of the month.
The last Wednesday of the month. Okay, and that'll be at 7 o'clock here to discuss the book. So you have a month to read the book, and it's not that long, and it's available, like I said, on Amazon, and you can even get a good used copy if you want. We always have a good time at the book club. We start talking about the book, and then we move on to whatever else we move on to. And it's just good to be together and have some basis of discussion.
So do you have to read the whole book before the first meeting of the book club? Is that how it goes?
We
Or do
do,
you do chapters?
we do a book a month.
Okay.
So it's about 350 pages, this one. We try to
Could
keep
just
it-
watch the TV series, right?
Could just watch the TV series. Available on Hulu. It says on the cover of the book.
Very funny.
Who's the author? Who's the author?
It's Toffee Broadser Anchor. Never heard of it.
You know, it's helpful to read the book in advance, but it's not mandatory. And quite often we use the book as a launching part for the discussion of the topic in general.
Right, right. So if you don't finish the book or you don't get the book, come anyway, because we always have a good discussion on whatever subject we start.
Or if you have views.
Right?
views.
As always, we collect
Opinions are good.
non-perishable food for the local food banks. Check the expiration date, they can't take anything that's out of date. You collect toys, new unwrapped toys, no stuffed animals for Children's Hospital. They go through a lot of toys, and in this season, if you're a kid stuck in the hospital, it sure is nice to have a new toy to keep you company. Now, we have a tradition here at Temple Beth Anna. Whoever gives the announcements is supposed to ask, did I forget anything? Well, folks, you gotta think of new things for us to do here, so the person giving the announcements can forget something and you can fill in. So think about that, and Shabbat Shalom.
Okay. So we continue our service on page 146. Where did Margaret go? And Margaret's going to open the ark. We're going to rise for the Baruchu. 146. Light. We continue to stand up and turn to page 152. Oh, 152, where we have the Shema, and we, after that, we'll go directly to Ve'ahavta on the very next page. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך ובשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם You may be seated. FYI, whenever the ark is closed, you may be seated. Okay? Now, if you noticed, the Ve'ahavta has the words in it. You say these words when you're walking by the way, when you're sitting down, when you're rising up, or when you're laying down. Okay? So it is a custom in our synagogue that we rise for the Shema, but we really don't have to stand up for the entire Ve'ahavta. Unless you really want to, then we can, but you should know it isn't a matter of tradition. It's a matter of custom in this synagogue, okay? So that's two different things. We have different words in Hebrew for it. Minhag, custom, and then halacha is law. That's what we call, okay, this is written in stone here, you know, but not that. It's not written in stone to rise for the Shema or the Ve'ahavta, FYI. It's good to know, it's good to know the truth, that's all. I think it's good to know. What do you think? I like to know. I like to know what's really true. Okay, let me share with you a little paragraph from a wonderful scholar who was my dear, dear teacher. And he's the kind of man who will always be my teacher forever and evermore. His name's Reb Melech Yisroel Gottlieb. How's that for a name? He goes by Reb Mel. It's much simpler. Anyway, he wrote a book and it's called Torah Travels. And he wrote this paragraph, just one paragraph I wanted to share with you because it's about Hanukkah and about our times. So he says, in these most challenging times when Earth itself confronts one tragedy after another, constant wars, pandemics, climate crisis, hunger, unemployment, cultural divisions that keep us apart, Hanukkah reminds us of the light that always dwells within the darkness. In this darkness, there may be no better time to join in Hanukkah singing. In soaking up the light of Hanukkah and affirming our belief that light will enter and transform the darkness, and faith will transcend skepticism. Amen. I just thought that was a good paragraph for tonight. All right, so we continue now on page 158, which is Mi Chamocha. You're on your own, Rob.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's all right. We said musical guitar, I thought you had.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
כיפת אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch Hu Elo Shemo.
Gai Yisrael. Amen. We turn to 162. 162, where we have the Shamru. Vicky is getting ready to join you, Robin. Or not.
Gotta find the tune.
You know what, while she's finding that, how about this? Some of you may not know that these are all the rules for Shabbat, right? Let's see in that paragraph right there. Let's read it together. The people of Israel shall keep the Shabbat. Okay? Observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day God ceased from work and was refreshed. And that is an echo of the very last word in the paragraph, Vayinafash. Some of you might remember that I mentioned that before because it has the word nefesh inside of it. Nefesh is soul, and Vayinafash means my soul will be refreshed. My soul will be refreshed. All those words in one tiny Vayinafash. Okay. Veshamro b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lasot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם לעולם, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. Okay. Oh, yes. So we'd like to take just a moment right now, and if there's something wonderful or something of very big note that you would like to share with the congregation, if you could briefly do that, that would be swell. I see David is ready, Joanne is ready, and Bunny also. Okay, David is first.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I had the opportunity about a week and a half ago to get up north to San Francisco and Oakland to see my sisters up in Cotati, which was really nice. It was a little bit wet, a little bit foggy, but it was a very enjoyable visit. We had a nice dinner with salmon and all of the good veggies that went with it. Then from there, I ventured over to San Francisco to look at the Grace Cathedral, and I happened to fall into a Christmas concert that was given by the Grace Cathedral Choir and organist Christopher Cady leading the service. It was a beautiful concert. I had a chance to meet with him there. And then had a beautiful train ride coming back home on Monday night, a little bit late, but I'm here. So that
Baruch
was
Hashem.
that was my week and a half away from the congregation.
Okay, thank you, David. Joanne?
Yeah, I've got two things. First of all, I saw a really good movie today, and I thought of you. I saw Complete Unknown.
Complete Unknown?
Yeah, it's about Bob Dylan.
Right,
And
oh,
Joan Baez
yes.
was in it, and it's really, so, I mean, you like that kind of music, so.
Oh, yeah.
And I wasn't crazy about him back in the 60s, but I didn't really think about his wonderful ability of composing. It's really
Yes.
great.
He
And-
was a hell of a poet.
Yeah, he was,
Right.
that's great. Also,
And still alive.
yeah. Also, I was really thrilled. My grandson is spending a wonderful week at Camp Halloween.
Oh,
I think like seven days sleepover. He's 8
very
years old.
nice.
And they're having a good time. They made Sufganiyot, and
Oh.
today my daughter sent me a picture of them. They were dancing and having
You
all
mean the
kinds
whole
of-
family is there?
No,
just
no.
him.
The camp has an app that they post pictures
Oh,
for parents.
Nice.
So it's really nice, so you don't have to wonder what your kids do.
That's
So she sent me
nice.
pictures.
That's
So it's
great.
really nice, yeah.
Camp Alanim.
Where is it? In Simi.
Simi.
Which is like.
We're all the name of BCIS. Oh, I don't never heard of
Very
it.
nice. I didn't go there, but my daughter lives in Chatsworth.
Yeah.
If anything happens.
Well, it is a great camp, and it's a super winter encampment for young ones. I think that's
I
wonderful.
went there for day camp last summer. 2
Super.
months.
Okay.
Okay.
Bunny?
Oh, well, I have a news item for all of you sports-minded Angelinos and Dodger fans.
Okay.
They recontracted Teoscar Hernandez today for 3 years, $66 million.
Gee, you think he'd have like, 100 for us? I don't know.
No, only Juan Soto has the 100 for you.
100 ain't gonna do it, folks.
What'd you say, Ira?
Add a couple zeros, 100 ain't gonna
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah, that's right. That's why it was so funny, right. Okay, yes, May.
So I get to see my son next weekend. I'm gonna drive up to Fremont to see him.
Nice. Oh, okay, beautiful. Anyone else? Oh, Vicky?
I'm happy that my daughter Sarah and her husband and the 2 grandsons are here visiting with us until January 3rd, and it's Rabbi's birthday on the 1st.
Oh,
And so they're gonna get to be here with us to celebrate that.
Everybody's gotta have some day. Mine's January 1st, okay? Okay, I tell them they don't have to do the parade and everything, but they do it anyway. They say, don't worry, Rabbi Janet, we love to do it.
The whole world celebrates it.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, yeah. So, oh my goodness, we had such a week. It seems like we've been everywhere. So many celebrations and so many faces and friends, and it's just been a whirlwind of a time. So anybody else have something to share? Okay, then I think we're gonna move right on, and we continue now on page 371 with the Mishaberach. We were saying the prayer for healing right now. And when we do this prayer, we want to, we're gonna open the ark, and we're gonna think about all the people who need healing. You can picture them in your mind. It helps to send the healing. So those who can rise, please rise. Mi Shebera Avoteinu Mekor Abraha Levoteinu the source of strength who bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Ishebera Imoteinu Mekor Abraha Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Okay, and Margaret, we may be seated as soon as Margaret closes our curtain. She's very fast. She's right on it. Thank you. Okay, and you can put your books down for a minute because I'm going to talk about the Torah portion. The Torah portion today is miketz. Miketz, it means at the end. At the end, and I wanted to have you consider these words that are in our parashah today. It says in Genesis chapter 42, verse 8, it says, Joseph recognized his brothers, but they did not recognize him. Okay? In a moment, you'll have the rest of the story of that. Okay. The Torah is a deep and many-layered book. I don't have to tell you that. It cannot be understood on one superficial level. On the surface, our story is very simple. Joseph's brothers were deeply envious of him, and at first they planned to kill him. Eventually, they sold him into slavery. He is taken to Egypt. There, through many twists and turns of events, he rises to become prime minister, second only to the Pharaoh himself. It is now many years later than his enslavement, 22 years to be exact, and his brothers have come to Egypt to buy food. Remember, there was a famine in the land. We talked about that last week, about the dreams and the fat cows that ate up the skinny cows. They came before Joseph, but he no longer looked like the man that they knew when he was 17. And when he was called Joseph, wrapped in his coat of many colors. Now he's 39, an Egyptian ruler called Sophenat Paneach. Say that 12 times fast. Sophenat Paneach. Dressed in official robes with a gold chain around his neck, and don't forget that funny beard they used to wear like this. He spoke Egyptian, and he used an interpreter to communicate with his own brothers. So, of course, they did not even think of that it could be him. No wonder they didn't recognize him. That is only the surface meaning. Deep down, our book of Breshit, which is of course Genesis, is exploring the most profound source of conflict in history. You know, Freud thought that the most profound conflict was the father-son conflict. No doubt that is a very deep and pervasive conflict. However, Breshit thinks of the main conflict that the root of all conflict is from is sibling rivalry. And it shows us by all the stories that it has: Cain and Abel, Isaac and Ishmael, Jacob and Esau, and now Joseph and his brothers. Joseph has the misfortune of being the youngest. He symbolizes, in fact, the Jewish condition. I'll show you in a second what that means. His brothers are older and stronger than he is. They resent his presence. They see him only as a troublemaker. The fact that their father loves and favors him only makes them angrier and more resentful. They want to kill him. In the end, they get rid of him in a way that allows them to feel a little less guilty than murder. They concoct the story of Joseph being killed by a wild animal. And they tell their father. And of course, they come back and just forget about Joseph and settle into life again, relaxed and normal. There is no Joseph anymore to disturb their peace. Now, however, they are facing a situation, a stranger in a strange land. It simply does not occur to them that this man may be their brother Joseph. And as far as they are concerned, in fact, there is no Joseph. They don't recognize him. They never did. They never recognized him as one of them, as their father's child, as their brother with an identity of his own and a right to be himself. Joseph is like the Jewish people throughout history. Joseph recognized his brothers, but they did not recognize him. Judaism was the world's first monotheism, but not the last, right? Two others emerged claiming descent, literal or metaphorical, from Abraham. And they were, everybody here knows the answer, Christianity and Islam. It is fair to call the relationship between the three Abrahamic monotheisms a relationship of sibling rivalry. The theme of Breshit has been the leitmotif, or the theme, you might say, of the better part of the last 2,000 years, with the Jewish people cast in the role of Joseph. There were times when actually Joseph and his brothers lived together in relative harmony. For instance, I'm going back to the Jewish people, in early medieval Spain, the Jews and the Muslims and the Christians lived together in harmony. They had a flourishing culture, which included advances in medicine, science, and it was a wonderful time until the persecutions that began to arise with Queen Isabella and Torquemada. But anyway, we also remember other times in history that were when the blood libels were accused us of the fact that they said we use the blood of children to make matzah. That, you know, that would have never happened at all. It is blatantly absurd that that would even be suggested, because of course it wouldn't be kosher. First of all, and you don't eat human beings. It says it clearly in the Torah, what you can eat and what you can't eat. But never mind, you know those people who say false things to make you hate others? They're still doing it today. And when they do it, we have to call them out. We have to say, oh goodness, no. Biden doesn't have a crime family, okay? And I don't need to say more things, but you know what I'm talking about. But they had also accusations of poisoning wells, that the Jews were poisoning wells. Never mind, they used any excuse to kill us. During the time of the plague, Jews got the plague much less than others. Why? Because of our hygienic practices. We were enjoined before we eat, we have to wash our hands. We have to use separate dishes for meat and non-meat. We have to do all these things that promote less bioorganisms from proliferating and getting us sick. But that wasn't even known at the time, of course. So when the Jews didn't die in the numbers that the others died, they accused us of all of that, of poisoning them, of giving them the plague, of somehow orchestrating their demises and all that sort of thing. Instead of looking at their own practices and saying, hey, the Jews aren't dying like us, let's see what they're doing so we can do it. No, that would be people who wanted to make the world better. These were people who wanted to hate. People who want to hate don't make the world better. They make the world worse. Just by the hating and by telling lies. Please, if we can have nothing else, let's have the truth. The truth it's not a joke. The truth will set you free. Even if it's annoying for a minute, it's much better than being told something that is absolutely not true. And then you are going on the assumption of the lie. How terrible is that? Over my lifetime, I've run into many people who were youth of the Nazis. What did they call them? Jugend something. It was the youth. They brainwashed them. They made them wear brown uniforms, and they taught them, that Jews were vermin and all these terrible things. And they were brainwashed literally. And when they grew up, they were angry at being used like that by Hitler and the Nazis. Okay? It doesn't promote you to love the people that told you those lies. When you find out their lies, you are not a happy camper. Also with a salesperson can tell you all kinds of BS, and you try to know who you're supposed to believe. I remember a guy when I was redoing my kitchen one time, and I said, wait a minute, this kind of a garbage disposer, they have the sink with the tiny sink, which have the garbage disposer in it. And I said, my mom told me that's not a good way to do it because it gets stuck and it's not good. Oh, who are you going to believe, me or your mom? I'm the salesman. I know what's true about this. Well, it turned out to be a very terrible decision, and it was always a problem. So, it made me want to go back to him and smack him. I'll tell you, but I never did. And that man was a Jew. He knew that I was a Jew too, and he still lied right to my face. I don't take kindly to that. Okay. So anyway, we had after that the expulsions that took place throughout Europe. England in 1290 expelled us. In Spain, of course, you all know the date, 1492, when they simply wanted to get rid of all of us. So they let Columbus go. Columbus was partly Jewish, and he had the 3 boats, you all know, the Nina, Pinta, and the Santa Maria. There were many Jews on those boats because they were willing to risk their lives to cross a sea that they didn't even know if the earth was flat or not, if they would fall off the end of the earth, but they were willing to take a chance on that rather than either be murdered by the Spanish Catholics or forced into conversion to being a Catholic, or your third choice was tortured by Torquemada. Oh yeah, those were great old choices. So the Jews took the choice of let's get out of here. Okay, and that was a big migration from Spain. Of course, later in our history, we already mentioned, then came the Holocaust, followed by 3 years after the Holocaust was over, the state of Israel the destination of our Jewish journey since the days of Abraham, the homeland of the Jewish people since the days of Joshua. No nation on earth, with the possible exception of the Chinese, has had such a long association with a piece of land. The day the state was born, the 14th of May in 1948, David Ben-Gurion, its prime minister, sought peace with its neighbors. Israel has not ceased seeking peace from that day to this. But this is no ordinary conflict. Israel's opponents, Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, of course Iran, they are not engaged in a border dispute, these boundaries or those. They deny, as a matter of non-negotiable religious practice, and this is not just political principle, they deny Israel's right to exist within any boundaries whatsoever. Today, there are 56 Islamic states in the world. Did you know that? 56 Islamic states, but for Israel's neighbors, a single Jewish state the size of 1/19 of the state of California is too many. There is no state among the 192 member nations of the United Nations whose very existence is called into question as Israel's legitimacy has been called into question. While we as Jews argue among ourselves as to this policy or that, we fail to focus on the central issue, the real issue, which is, so long as Joseph's brothers do not recognize his right to be, there can be no peace. Only a series of moments between disputes, foundation, the fundamental dispute, what they really want is no Jewish state at all. Until sibling rivalry is over, all other debate is mere distraction. Iran, Hamas, and Hezbollah must finally agree that we have the right to our land, our country, and our culture. Israel must be recognized fully as our historical and present and future homeland. We have the right to be our own people in our own land. Be'eretz Zion B'Yerushalayim, in the land of Zion in Jerusalem. And let us say,
Amen.
Amen. Okay. We continue on page 586. And we ask Margaret again to open our ark as we rise for Aleinu, which is the second paragraph on 586. Aleinu leshabeach le'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר ראשית, שלא עשה כגויי הארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Next page. שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומשה יקרא השמיים ממעל, ושכינת וזון ושכינת וזון וגם מרומים. הוא אלוהינו הוד, אמת אלוקינו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, ודעת היום נאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ.
היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
All right, we continue on page 598. This is the Mourner's Kaddish, and at this time we remember tonight on the anniversary of their passing, as well as those who we have lost in recent months. We have Elana Glinert, Leona Zolman, Fran Bernstein, Joel Sussman, Gerald Rosenfeld, Ron Shankman, Ron Caden, Elsie Noodleman, Deborah Fischel, Beverly Craig, and Lorinda Bray. Our yard sites: Amy M. Abramson, Albert Lassoff, Bessie Dash, Avraham Marco. And we have the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. Are there any other yard sites to say? Okay. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabah, ve'alma divrach chirutei, ve'amlich malakutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael, b'agala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam u'lalmei al-maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yithoar v'yithamam v'yitnaseh. Yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei l'kudisha.
Richu.
Le'olam mikol v'chata v'shirata, tushvechata v'nechemata, tamiram ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shma rabba mishemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom v'imromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru amen. And before we can sit down, before we sing our final hymn, I would like to ask God's blessing on you. You may be seated. On page 603, but we're going to sing after. May God bless you and keep you. What? Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ken yehi ratzon. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you. Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Ken yehi ratzon. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find peace. Yisa Yair Adonai panav elecha, ve'yasem lecha shalom. Ken yehi ratzon. And if we could have our hymn be Ocho Candelicas.
Do that. So that's on the first page of your sheets.
At the very bottom, number 2, the song number 2, Hanukkah. Let me just give them the meaning for a minute. Hanukkah linda está aquí. Beautiful Hanukkah is here. Ocho candelas para mí. 8 candles for me. Then we name all the candles. And then, sadly, we have to turn the page for the second verse. Muchas fiestas por hacer. We're going to make a whole lot of parties. Okay? Hanukkah linda está aquí. Ocho candelas para mí. Hanukkah lindas aquí, 8 candelas para mí. Uno candelitas, dos candelitas, tres candelitas, 4 candelitas, 5 candelitas, 6 candelitas, 7 candelitas, 8 candelas para mí. Muchas fiestas voy a hacer con alegría y placer. Muchas fiestas voy a hacer con alegría y placer. Uno candelita, dos candelitas, 3 candelitas, 4 candelitas, 5 candelitas, 6 candelitas, 7 candelitas, 8 candelas para mí. All right. Well, that was wonderful. Are you in the mood to sing one more song? Okay. Well, we have a really fun Yiddish song that I have in English and then in Yiddish, and it's all about potatoes.
What page?
It's page 3.
What is it called?
Bulbous. It's called bulbous. Now, in
Bottom
Europe,
of 3.
we were a little bit poor. And so our diet consisted largely of potatoes. So this is a song to make fun of all of that. Talking about on Sunday we got potatoes. On Sunday they got potatoes, on Monday they got potatoes, on Tuesday potatoes, Wednesday potatoes, and on Shabbos for a change, a potato kiggle, a kugelet, okay, or a potato casserole as they say in English. Sunday potatoes, Monday potatoes, Tuesday and Wednesday potatoes, Thursday and Friday potatoes, for a change, Shabbos for a change, a potato casserole. Sunday potatoes again, bread with potatoes, meat with potatoes, dinner and supper potatoes, again and again potatoes. Once in a while for a change, a potato casserole. And Sunday potatoes again. Sonntag bulbous, Montag bulbous, Mittwoch und Donnerstag bulbous, Donnerstag und Freitag bulbous, Shabbos in and holiday bulbous, Kugelet. Sonntag weiter bulbous, Bräut mit bulbous, Fleisch mit bulbous, Warmes und leckere bulbous, over und wieder bulbous, einmal in den Nordinea bulbous, Kugelet. Sonntag weiter bulbous. Okay.
Now I do have to ask you, are you planning on taking these song sheets with you?
Yes, I think we should, oh, you mean for there? No, we don't need them for there, but on Monday we should have them.
Oh, for sure, I just wanted to know if I could collect them so that I could bring them on.
Oh, yes, please do
Good
that.
idea.
Absolutely.
So everyone, even though you might wanna take them home, please give
Are we
them
done?
back to me.
Are we done right now?
We're gonna go have our own Shabbat right now.
Okay.
Thank you,
Debbie?
Margaret.
No, they're gonna take it.
Yeah, great.
Just this one for right now.
Who's been putting the
That doesn't sound on,
I didn't put